good. So for me, 6 was Certified Hitmaker, and I had to double check that this came out in 2020 because I thought it was 2019. But according to Spotify, it's a 2020 album. It must have just dropped in like January because I remember hearing it really early on. But Lil Mosey's Certified Hitmaker,
Okay.
from the jump, was one of my favorite albums. I just like the sound. I guess a lot of these. The thing is, here's the thing: 2020, I think, was oversaturated with rappers going like all out on lyricism or having a stronger focus on lyricism. And as
Okay.
somebody that loves that, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan. But it was like a lot of rappers that are okay lyrically, or maybe not even that good lyrically, going way into it. And I don't know. I think it just got overplayed. All the all the lyrics and it just getting a little bit distracted and losing touch with the ultimate appeal of music, which to me is the sound. And I think with this album, the thing I liked the most about it was the production and the sound. And maybe it leans more towards a pop type of hit record kind of album. Um, but I just don't think it had many misses. I think there were so many songs worth saving and re-listening to, and that's one of the biggest things for me. I think is replayability. You know, how many times would I want to play this album again and again and again? So I'm putting Certified Hitmaker up there. I know Blueberry
That's sick.
Faygo is probably super overplayed, but opening track of the album, I think it's just a banger, just a straight up
Yeah.
banger. And it's great summer music, or just
Meant for
any kind
Costa
of
Rica.
good weather music. Exactly. Speaking of which, can I just say I've been at a different place every episode. Literally, I've been in a different city every episode we've done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
You'll never see the same background with me. Anyway, so tracks I saved real quick: Bankroll featuring AJ Tracy, See My Baby, Rock Stars, and G Walk with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
The dude just got a phenomenal flow. I mean, the lyricism is almost entirely gone. Like it's I mean, let's make this clear. Lil Mosey is a meme for how terrible he is with cipher type stuff and the double XL incident. So I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a lyrically good album. I just think it's worth listening to again and again and again for fun.
I would just say this. I will challenge you a bit here. I mean, obviously your list is valid for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't look at Lil Mosey as a rapper. I don't think it's a rap album either. I think it's a pop album.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
But
it's
I understand that he's in that realm. You know, it is a tough line. And I will actually bring up something that I was going to bring up later, but you know how much I loved the Kid Laroi this year.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I loved his album.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it didn't make my top 10 because it's not a rap album, and he's not a rapper. He's a pop star,
right?
And that's great. I love, pop has a place, but it's You have. It's tough to draw the line, especially because
it's tough
nowadays. We blur it. Double XL.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They put Mosey in the freshman class.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's
just.
No, I totally.
He might have been a rapper to start his career, but he's not anymore. You know,
dude. If I can put it in I have a list for non-rap albums. I mean, I would put that as top 3 non-rap albums of the year. Like, it's great as a non-rap album. Don Toliver was another one where I listened to his album Heaven or Hell, and I was like, is this really rap? Like I checked on Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia, he's a rapper. But I'm listening to the album like, yo, he's singing the entire album. I don't think he raps once.
Not a rapper.
Yeah. All right. Juice WRLD, you could even argue, I mean, he's a great rapper, but his music isn't really rap music.
Not a rapper. Yeah. But I mean, maybe later on in his career, you know what I mean, we might have seen a rap album from him. Who knows?
Right.
You know?
Who knows?
And he has some great rap tracks. The one with Ski Mask, you know, that we love so much.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, yeah. It's a blurry line. And one more to add to that list, Rich Brian's album, 1999. I really liked it, but there were some tracks that were like not even, I don't even know if I'd call them pop. Like, they're super different.
Super different.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get to my number 6, and I think it's really gonna surprise you, but I enjoyed it immensely, and that is Busta Rhymes' Extinction Level Event 2, The Wrath of God.
Dude. I respect that. Yo, can we just take a moment to appreciate that you chose a Busta Rhymes album and I chose a Lil Mosey album?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. You never thought you'd hear it. Radio rap.
Unbelievable.
Who's who?
Dude, just really, really enjoyed this. There was, believe it or not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks that I saved. And each one of them I love probably equally. There's just so much lyricism, so much flow. The instrumentals amazing. My favorite tracks by far are Boomp, You, and probably Who Are You. You should, I don't know if you've given it a good listen, but definitely go to my 2020 rap playlist. Times. Oh, okay, so you have. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I know it's late in Busta's career and everything, but he just really put together an awesome lyrical album. I loved it.
So you said dude, Anderson .Paak just gets around with all the goats. Like he really featured on all the biggest rappers' albums.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say my only saves, the ones that stood out on the first listen, were Oh No and the Don and the Boss. Like, yeah, Don and the Boss is like almost like a reggae, almost dance hall. Like he really tapped into his Caribbean roots on that one. I'm really big into like reggae and stuff, so I liked that one. And it had a super dope, like epic beat. And I think Calm Down was cool to hear Eminem on his album, but I just want to mention that song came out like 5 years ago.
Really?
Unless it was leaked. I remember listening to that.
That's cool.
Like way back, so many years ago. But I guess it never got officially released on any album. I think I found it on Dat Piff or something. So
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Gotta get it out there.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, I respect that. Busta is definitely a legend.
Legend.
You know, he went to school in the same school as Jay-Z and DMX, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Old school hip hop trivia. Can you imagine being at the high school? Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, DMX.
The cafeteria freestyles.
Oh my God. Can you? I can't even believe it.
That's cool.
All right. So should we move on?
Yeah. 5.
Okay. So for number 5, I put The Hustle Continues, Juicy J. That might have been a Q4 release as well. I don't think we talked about it. We definitely didn't talk about it last episode.
Nope.
Dude, Hustle Continues. All I have to say is straight bangers, like front to back. I like the way we're doing this order of 10 to 1.
Yeah.
It just gets better and better, man. Hustle Continues. There were very few albums this year that immediately after the first time I heard it, I was like, I'm gonna be replaying this again and again and again. Let me tell you, I was replaying this album so much. Like the first few weeks, I wasn't listening to anything else. There's a lot of music to listen to, as you know, that came out this year. I was replaying The Hustle Continues so much. Oh, so many tracks worth saving. It's like you don't even need to skip tracks, really. Best group right off the bat. Like I don't know where Juicy J gets his confidence. Well, I mean, he was part of 3 6 Mafia, so he's got a lot of things to be proud
of. That's
a
lot to say.
But yeah, he's a legend in the South. But he just bursts onto the track with energy that I haven't heard from anybody, I want to say, in a long time. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of just being able to lay your energy down on a track and kind of pass that on to the listener. It just makes you want to party to this kind of music or just mosh. I would love to mosh to this kind of music. And dude, the fact that he's 45 years old, the guy's 45 years old and he's getting me so hyped. He knows how to, he's probably been making club music for like 20, 30 years now.
That's crazy. Insane.
It's so insane. Goddamn High might be my favorite track off the album. That's track 2. I play that song all the time. I have friends that I play a song. My friends are like, dude, why do you like listening to this song? I'm not high. I'm like, I don't care. I get high off just listening to the song.
That's cool.
Spend it. You can spend it with your broke ass. Bitch, spend it. Dude, it's so catchy. All his hooks are so catchy.
He's
Killer with Conway. What are you about to say?
he's a hook god. He's very good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he knows how to make the slappers. Shopping Spree, quick, load it up with NLE Choppa. Probably one of the last like wicked hard, yeah, super hard NLE verse. Shopping Spree. Let me just go back to Shopping Spree. I think it's the most unique song on the album. Might be one of my favorite tracks of 2020 again. It's the one, I don't know if you remember it, where it's just like, when it gets that Ben Barney.
Oh yeah.
And he keeps that flow like the whole song. Barney. Barney. Like that, I love it when you can find a unique flow, because it feels like every flow's been used, right? We've had rappers doing different flows for like 40 years now. And I'm sure this has happened at some point. And I mean, Juicy J, if I'm not mistaken, if he is part of 3-6 Mafia, they kind of originated the triplet flow that took over the 2010s. So the guy's an OG, and he's just a flow god, a hook god. It's such a good album. It's hard to say. It's hard to put in words how much I liked it. But one more track I really enjoyed, Memphis to LA, that features J Rock and Project Pat. It's got a little bit more of a serious tone to it. I mean, it's got J Rock in it, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more like street type stuff, but you know, Memphis and LA, I guess, have a lot of overlap in their sound and their culture and stuff. It's the kind of hard music that I like listening to. So
for sure, he's a longevity guy, and I appreciate that. You know, I enjoy the same songs that you do on the album. I thought it was great. You know, a lot of energy. I mirror a lot of your thoughts. So.
Oh yeah, had to put that in the top 5. Such a good album.
Nice. All right, continuing with our weird complete divergence. I thought there was going to be insane overlap, but there just really isn't yet.
Interesting. It's probably better that way. It makes for better content.
Oh, it makes for amazing content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, going to my number 5 was PTSD by G Herbo. Killed it. I know this was another one where I've mentioned it a few times. I just don't think you go back to it very often. But I'm just going to be pulling up the songs that I saved real quick. Again, off this album alone, I saved 1, 2, 3, 10 tracks off this album. Way. So the deluxe version ended up coming out, right? Deluxe where he dropped another 14 tracks.
Oh yeah, so dude, these deluxe versions have me confused.
Yes, and this was the year of the deluxe album. Every album had a deluxe version.
Yo, while we're on the topic, Lil Wayne, he didn't just drop Funeral. He dropped the Carter 5 Deluxe and the Free Weezy album. Yeah. So I kind of like, in my list, I kind of grouped those all 3 together, because I was like, there's so many releases, it's hard to keep track. Yeah.
Back to G Herbo though. Mm-hmm. I remember when this guy first got put on, it was him and Lil Bibby. They dropped the track. I forget what it was called. I'm going to have to pull it up another time, but he dropped this track. And the reason, of course, the Drake effect, right? Drake put this man on. He said he really liked this song, and then all of a sudden that sort of went away. It's not like he ever got a Drake feature or anything like that, but then he sort of just embodied, you know, that sort of Midwest Chicago type of style, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he sort of just he just ran with that style, you know. And PTSD, it really came all together. I was so impressed. Just on the main album alone, forget the deluxe, the 14 tracks, I saved half the album. Glass in the Face, Death Row, PTSD, Lawyer Fees was amazing. Shooter, Intuition, just a lot of songs that I actually go back to in the gym. I listen to a lot of him in the gym. He's got like this very gritty, very lyrical at the same time. It's not like some of these drill rap. He's not drill at all. You know what I mean?
Right. I had to look up where he was from. I didn't even know he's from Chicago. I would have guessed some East Coast city.
Yeah. You expect him to have, you know, coming from that area to be very, I don't associate lyricism with drill, you know what I mean? Or with anybody in the Chicago scene, really, nowadays. And he totally eludes that, you know, he doesn't fall into that category. I think he's a great lyricist, and I can't wait to hear his next drop. You know, that wasn't the case in 2019 for me. If you were to ask me, are you a G Herbo fan? No. This year, yeah, definitely.
Right. I think if I'm not mistaken, Polo G had a verse. Yeah, he had a verse on Lawyer Fees.
Lawyer Fees was a good track.
Polo G's also from Chicago, right?
Yeah, Chicago rapper.
Yeah. No, it's a solid team up. I liked Polo G's album a lot. I had to go back to it. You mentioned it in a previous podcast. But yeah, Chicago's got a lot more talent than it gets credit for, I would say.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to add to this, first of all, I'm gonna re-listen to the album because I only heard it like once or twice, so I'm definitely gonna go back. But when I did hear it, the only track I saved was "In This Bitch," track 4.
Dude, I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to curse. That's my favorite song on the album. Favorite song on the album, hands down.
Oh, easily, dude.
That goes so hard. Oh my god.
It's so dark, so heavy.
I love
that kind of music. Yeah.
Oh, me too. Yeah. If I'm in the gym and that comes on, I'm like, oh, let's get it.
Let's get this PR.
Love that. All right. We're on 4. We're getting to the top.
Let's keep it moving. You better be listening.
You got for me.
So this album I had at my like number 1 and 2 for a while, but I had to knock it down. I re-listened to it. I'm not like super certain about its replayability. But from the jump, like I think it was his best work. And it has some tracks that I think are some of the best releases of 2020. ADHD by Joyner Lucas. I thought it was one of the best albums of the first half of the year. But then there's some more albums that came out I thought were better, and then this one, like, it had a lot of tracks that I think should have been removed. Which I think for all the top 4 of my picks, if I could have cut out a lot of songs, it would have made them so much better. Each one of these albums, I think, was. But ADHD, I just think that Joyner Lucas is somebody we all really want to win, and he's got so much talent. And like other goats in the industry, Busta Rhymes, Eminem, Chris Brown, who else? Just like a lot of really well-renowned people have talked about how talented this guy is and how everybody wants him to succeed. And so I'm just like still rooting for him and hoping he gets a really solid project. I think this is the closest he's come in his career. And he did this thing where he kept dropping music videos like every few weeks the first half of the year. And it was like, dude, you keep dropping videos, like your whole album's gonna be out just on YouTube. But he's very we all know he's super non-conventional. He is not your common everyday rapper. He's trying to do stuff from the ground up. He's independent. If I'm not mistaken, he might have a distributor, but like he does his business a lot differently. I think he's been immensely successful with the business side of the industry, and I think you could tell he takes his craft as like a true art form. And I think that's what he's known for, is just crafting intricate like mini masterpieces of songs. And the ones that I saved I thought were some of the best songs of the year. So big props to Joyner on ADHD, and he got some bangers with songs like Isis and Lotto.
Yeah.
And Will.
Yeah. I loved Lotto. Lotto was great. Will was awesome. Here's my gripe with Joyner. I feel like he's at the point where, like, he dropped Ross Capiccioni. I think that's how you say it. I might be butchering the last name, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. It was what he was known. Like, that's what Busta got, put onto him for.
Right.
Then he dropped I'm Not a Racist, which again captivated the masses. He put out a music video for it. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I don't want to call it a gimmick because I think that belittles it.
Yeah. When you say gimmick, it's like it doesn't have any kind of substance behind it.
But it was very centered around that one idea. Same thing with the Ross Capiccioni thing. Then you get Will, which was also very cool. But again, it just felt a little gimmicky, almost like it was so perfect it couldn't have failed. Same thing with I'm Not a Racist. Same thing with the Ross track. You know what I mean? The story was so perfect. If he could just rap about this story and put all these lines together, it would be perfect.
I don't really hear the critique here.
I just don't think that's going to carry you throughout a career. I think you did that. It was cool, right? But now you need to now you need to find something else. You know what I mean? He needs to you had mentioned that he's great at crafting moments, masterpieces of songs.
Yeah.
You can't, that got you popular, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. You need to put together an album. And his most
I think he's
work,
trying, dude. He keeps trying. Like, he dropped 2 albums this year where he tried to do concept album type stuff. Yeah.
His most recent work, right? He pushed Zim Zima, which didn't get any traction. And again, it was like that song, that was his worst attempt. He took a step back, in my opinion. You know what I mean? At least with ADHD, he had will to push it. You know what I mean? But again, it was just like
he put together this too.
Yeah, and he got the remix, which was fantastic. You know,
he got the remix on Will and Lotto.
It was just the song. You know, it's great. I'm glad you're putting out the song. I'm glad that everyone flocks to you when Gucci Gang the remix come out. I'm glad when you drop Bank Account remix, everyone flocks to it. I'm glad when you drop I'm Not a Racist, everyone watches the music video. But it can't just be because I'm saying this as a true fan. I want him to be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can't just drop songs. You gotta drop an album, man.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I agree with you. I just think that I still believe he has the potential. Only guy, and this is Massachusetts bias. This is obviously a whole lot of Massachusetts bias going on right now.
100%.
But yeah, but here's the thing. I listen to, and this might be an exception. It might be a special case. Bad Bunny had nothing but singles before he dropped Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana, which we can get into in a second. I thought that was the best, if not one of the best, non-rap albums of the year, and it's a total masterpiece. And I want to say, like, from the jump, when I heard his SoundCloud hits, I was like, this guy could make an amazing album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
maybe
it's not easy, but hopefully, Joyner. I think he really tries to focus so much on the music, and I hear interviews with him where he's saying, like, he just doesn't do interviews anymore because it's too distracting. People misinterpret him, all this kind of like artist type stuff. But yeah, I just hope that 2021 he figures out the formula to make a solid front to back album.
And he needs to, there also needs to be some excitement about it,
Right.
It needs to be, again, his last 2 albums, no excitement around it, Which is
not mainstream. His core fan base loves him, absolutely loves him. But mainstream, not much excitement.
I'm not saying the welcoming of it. I'm not saying the reception. I'm saying the leading up to it.
Okay.
There needs to be some anticipation. I want to be excited for the album to come. I don't know if that was the case. Maybe ADHD, but like you said, he almost dropped the whole album before it came out. It's like, I don't know.
I know, it kind of kills a lot of anticipation, like you're saying.
Number 4, again, this isn't one we need to dissect a lot, but it's Kamaya, Got It Made. This was up on my list throughout the whole year. I still go back to it's only like 6, I think it's like 6 or 7 tracks that I saved, and it wasn't even a long album either. It has just those songs have stood with me from the start of the year, and I think that says a lot. I think she's a dope rapper. She dropped an album later in the year, but it wasn't a solo effort. It was her and some other upcoming like West Coast rapper named Capallo or something like that. Horrible. The worst piece of trash I've ever listened to. Right there with the word. Straight to the recycle bin, But she has so much talent. I love it. I love her. West Coast. She embodies the West Coast, It's just so cool. I love that.
That's what we're here for, man. We just want talent and culture. That's what we need to highlight, because it kind of gets, it falls under the radar sometimes.
Hell yeah. All right, top 3, baby. Top 3.
Let's go. So my number 3, Detroit 2, Big Sean. Amazing album, solid. I won't spend too much time talking about it just because we just talked about it last podcast, right? But I think it has great replay value, and if we're going to be talking on a scale between like music and sound and how much I like just listening to it and the lyricism side of it, just like bars and messages, concepts, all that, I think it's a very good balance of both. I really like the production on it, and I think he kills it in his lyricism. It might actually be his most lyrical album, I want to say. I would say it's his most lyrical album. And if you watch interviews, Big Sean he just keeps maturing and evolving as a human being. And I think you see that he feels more stable, more I don't think confidence is the word, just more sure about what he's doing. I think he's just trying to transmit life messages to his listeners, which I think is really commendable. And it's kind of like having the music have a bigger purpose than just something you throw on because it sounds good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that being said, I mean, hits that I just love listening to: Why Would I Stop, Lucky Me, Wolves, and CTFO.
Yeah.
All love listening to it, but it's worth sticking with the album to hear what he has to say. And especially unique tracks like the Friday Night Cypher. I mean, you got to be thankful for stuff like that.
Uh-huh. I thoroughly enjoyed the album. I saved plenty of songs, just like I do with any other Big Sean album. I will enjoy every Big Sean album from here until his last. I swear I will. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy this guy's music. He's a great lyricist. Yeah. He has great flows, but I will always add a critique, you know? I'll always add a critique. My one critique of Big Sean is that I thought he would pierce his way into the top tier of rappers, but I still think he belongs in the B level. I think if you were to like try to like overlay different eras of rappers, you know what I mean? Like if you were to take all the 2000s rappers and then compare them to all the 2010 or 2020 rappers, I think Big Sean would almost be kind of like a Ludacris. If you go back to Ludacris's
you mean in his rankings?
Exactly. Like he is what Big Sean is to 2010 as Ludacris is to 2000.
2000s. Oh wow, that's a cool comparison.
Ludacris has a lot of great albums. You know, if you go back, and he's got a lot of
albums, got hits, he's got features. It's like everything you would think that would make a legend.
But his name doesn't get mentioned like that.
Right,
you know?
right. When it comes to 2000s.
So I think I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, I feel like they're for some reason, Big Sean just never quite got there. I don't know why, but not quite there.
It's interesting. It's a shame.
It's interesting.
It's part of what makes this game so exciting. You know, you just never know who's going to drop what and how it's going to compare with other projects.
I love the fight for the throne, you know?
The fight for the throne, exactly.
That doesn't happen in any other genre of music.
I was about to say, that is unique to hip hop. Dude, I literally wrote an essay on this. Competition is a core element. I won't fully nerd out on this, but competition is a core element of hip hop culture. I'm not just talking rap. I'm talking the culture of hip hop that was born in LA and New York in like the 70s. Competition was in rap music, it was in DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, all of that. It was a youth culture, and when you're young, you're just trying to compete and be the best because you got to make a name for yourself because you're a nobody.
And you care about it.
You got to come out, and you care about it. So you got to come out with full ego and be like, no, I'm going for the throne. I'm going to be the best.